What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This podcast episode is brought to you by IBOW Training. As you know, we talk about training pretty frequently here on the show, and the IBOW has some amazing people that they work with in their network. Are you a designer, rapper, sign maker, or beyond? If you want to invest in your creativity for the future, IBOW Training is the right choice. IBOW is the nation's first training organization to offer training in all aspects of the rap industry, from quoting, design, printing, production, and installation. They offer a variety of training options such as training at your shop, group training classes nationwide, and even private design and print profile training through remote login. With trainers nationwide, IBOW offers support day and night by phone, and many of their trainers are within a day's reach for emergencies. IBOW is growing and will continue to support the industry in a positive manner. For more information, please visit ibowtraining.com. We are also brought to you by We Print Wraps. We Print Wraps is the industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps. How easy is it to order wraps? Well, all you have to do is sell the job. Go to weprinwraps.com, choose your desired film for the installation, upload your design, and if you're not a designer, no problem. They can design one for you and get your wraps delivered right to your door. They offer free nationwide shipping all across the U.S. and Canada on all orders over $500. And for exclusive listeners of the All Wrapped Up podcast, you can get 5% promo code when you type in the word All Wrapped Up at checkout to save on your next order today. Less risk, no overhead, wholesale printing. See why the industry pros love them. To get more information, visit weprinwraps.com. Folks, we got a great episode for you today. Our guest was prepping cars for pinstriping for his dad back in 1974. At that time, he was getting a quarter a vehicle for helping out. He's now grown his auto trimmers business into a full-service shop doing PPF, fleet wraps, and full custom printed wraps. Please give it up for the great and powerful Justin Baker. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to All Wrapped Up podcast. We'll be interviewing industry-leading rap companies to share tips, tricks, stories, and more. Justin, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Jeff? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. First day of spring today, right?
Yep.
Good weather in Minnesota today?
You know, the snow is melting, and we got 50s coming for this weekend. So hopefully it'll all be gone within a week. So
that's great, man. I just watched the news a few minutes ago. Northeastern coming our way now, full of rain for the rest of the week. No. Love it. Love it. Here we go. Spring hasn't even, come full circle yet, and we're already talking about snow again.
Yep. Well, that's how it goes, I suppose.
Northeast. Jesus Christ.
I'm excited for all the good weather. So then everybody in Minnesota starts to bring out their supercars and their toys to do stuff too. So
is there a lot of supercar owners in Minnesota?
It's grown dramatically in the past 5 years.
Really?
Before that, I don't think there was that many. There was a small amount, but the car culture and car scene in Minnesota has just gotten so much better. And every year it amazes me that we're doing so many more custom wraps than business wraps. I just find that pretty awesome, really. So
yeah, a lot of your stuff on your social media, not that it's just color change. It's like legit custom printed wraps for like exotics and different cars and stuff like that, which is amazing.
I really like that aspect of things. A lot of color change wraps are one color, right. But I can hardly stop myself from offering all sorts of funky stuff to people because the capabilities are there. The sky is really the limit. If you want to wrap your mini truck to look like Boba Fett, we can do that, So
right. Yeah, it's just crazy, and you take it to a whole nother level because it seems like your close ups and stuff like that. I see that you're using a lot of the metallic laminates and different films and different manufacturers to get these different effects, which is amazing for the industry that we have this that we're able to look outside the box from the number one and number two wrap industry leaders in films and create a mix match of different films. We'll use an laminate with like Avery that you usually wouldn't, but it works, to get different textures and stuff like that. It's just endless what we can do nowadays.
I think that's some of the fun part too, is you can take one thing and turn it into something that's even more dramatic with the effects that can happen from holographic chrome and printed reflective with, like you said, a satin laminate from another manufacturer. So I think blending all those together is what really kind of creates some really special stuff, because not every manufacturer has everything you need or I need to, do some wild stuff. And when you have a client that's ready to do some fun stuff, I like to be able to dig in my box of tricks and look for something new, and I love working with my designer on, her name's Tara. I love working with her because we both kind of think abstractly and try and come up with something new and inventive. And I think we captured it on our last Lamborghini we just did. We call it Skittles 2.0. We even had a little magic trick on that one that we did that turned out pretty sweet. So,
just amazing. In your color palette that you are using, that they're not muted, they're very vibrant, loud colors, bright pinks, purples, blues, unique fades and textures in the background. It's just, you're taking it to a whole nother level, man. A lot of your designs and custom prints are just out of this world. It's just crazy.
Cool. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And part of it is I got to give some props to my designer, Tara, and then also these clients. These clients really kind of drink the Kool-Aid with me when they're sitting in my office, and we just start talking. Next thing you know, they walk out with, "What did I just get again?" And they love it. So,
well, I mean, I think that's the best part, is when you can have full creative ability to do what you want. Yeah, you can just do what you want, and the client's just like, whatever you do, I'm good, because I know it's just gonna come out the best. When a client comes in and you put in a box, it becomes so much harder to create around that, because you don't know if they want to go outside the box just a little bit, or they really want to tone it down. And you got to be in here, and then that's it.
Yeah. I like to talk about budget with clients right out the gate, because I think that really sets the tone for what can be done. And if you get painted into a corner with pricing, well, that limits us. And so I do push my clients outside their comfort zone pretty often. I'll throw out there, "Hey, do you want to do some black alligator from Hexus? It looks like this, this, and this." And they're like, "Why would I do that?" And the next thing you know, they're saying, "Yeah, let's put that on my Rolls Royce."
Wow. Wow. Well, that just comes, with, the amount of time you have in the industry, your customer service, your not so much sales pitch, but like how you react to certain things and how you talk to people, your mannerisms and stuff like that. I always hated like going into shops, and you'd always feel like they're really sales pitchy and kind of used car salesmen, and you got to get this, and it's like, nah, man, just talk to me real. Like, come on. Like, I just want to be a normal person to be talked at. And I think you get a little bit more out of somebody when you're just natural about it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you want to be, instinctually, I want to just, let them buy from me, not me sell to them. Right. I just want to let you know what I can do, and that I think that this might look cool, but what do you think of that? Do you like pink on your Lamborghini? I mean, the guy that's driving it is 6'3", and he's a pretty cool dude, but I'm surprised he's cool with pink. But in the end, nobody's going to drive that car. There's no cars like that out there now. So,
right. It's just, you know what it is? It's cool that people create these designs around their own personalities and their own feelings, because I feel like that's the only reason why a lot of us got into it, with the whole car scene and tuner cars and import cars, and now with the technology we have now where we can change the color within, you know, an 8-hour day or a 10-hour day, you know, it's just that instant gratification of, oh my God, I just got pretty much a new car. It's got a new life, stuff like that. Yeah. It's just amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot to that instant gratification that hits the bill for me personally, but also I think my installers really appreciate that too. Their day goes by so much faster when they get done with this car and they go, oh my God, I just changed this car to look like this. And now I want to do something cool to my car. But in the end, that's what, with that instant gratification, we get that on the daily in this industry, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know? And
what do you think that, like, that does the customers' reactions, like when they come to pick up the car, do you do like a big reveal type of thing when it's like a high profile client or someone that brings in an exotic, or do you kind of just have it staged in the garage and just have them come in and watch their kind of reaction to it?
Definitely stage it in the shop, unless it's a beautiful day out. And if it's a nice day out, we'll have them walk into the show floor, and we've got a nice show floor, and, you know, it kind of makes them feel special, right? And then I have the car pulled around to the front, so then we'll go stand outside and watch the car come around the corner. And, you know, I've gotten everything from hugs and kisses to, you know, to, oh my God, that's the best thing ever. So, and I know my crew really appreciates that too. So when they can, I think it's great that they pull it around. One of the guys specifically will pull it around, and, you know, he may have worked on that car predominantly the whole time, so he gets a little bit of that love back too, which, that's great. You know, just builds their confidence and their self-esteem in what they do, and, you know, they're proud of themselves for what they did. So I really think that everybody on my team does a great job with that, and I think that it's important for them to experience that too, because it is a unique thing for somebody to just jump up and down about what we just did to their car. I want to get some more stuff to be able, you know, like a black neoprene car cover, you know. So I saw some at this last car show. I thought, oh my God, I need some of those, because we should do some big reveals from time to time. That'd be cool. So something I want to do more of. Yeah,
and that's always good when you've got like a secretive job going on and you want to take that picture of the shop, but you don't want anybody to see that secret car.
Right.
Just keep it underneath the covers, you know, because I saw a great video, which I didn't even know how big your freaking shop was, man. Oh my God. How many cars can you fit in your garage?
So at one point I was jamming in almost 40 cars.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, we had quite a few in there. Lately, for some reason, we've had party buses in the shop a lot. And, you know, you throw in one party bus and 4 box trucks and, you know, 15 other cars, and it's packed in there, you know.
Oh, my God.
So we expanded for a little over 4 years ago into the rest of the space that we're in now. And before that, we were rocking out maybe 6,000, 7,000 square feet, I think. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, 7,000 wasn't enough. You know, we would have to pull all the cars out, and, you know, in the morning, and then pull them all back in at night so that we could work on the select group that we're going to work on for the day. So when we expanded, it really just, I thought, God, I got to make sure I fill up this shop, you know, and it just happened on its own. It literally, kid you not, you build it, they will come. And that's exactly what happened. And then I took I got 4 garage doors back there. So I took one and busted it up to 14 foot tall so I could get in race trailers and 53-foot semis and, you know, those tall box trucks, straight trucks and stuff. So kind of nothing is going to get in my way from wrapping these vehicles, man. If they want to do it, I got the space for it now. So,
and that's the luxury, man. And I think that's the hardest part, you know, being a business owner or getting into the business, is trying to find a location that's got a good, big enough door to get pretty much the most normal things in, you know, at least a high top Sprinter. You want to be able to fill in there, and you want to be able to walk around it, you know?
Yeah. Get back and look and make sure your print is set up right. You know, so you don't put it on crooked.
Dude, my shop, I had to push a car over to the wall far enough with the mirror tucked in, And I had to do one side at a time, man. And literally, yep. I couldn't, from touching the door to my brick wall in my garage, I couldn't extend my arms full length. That's how close I was. I did that for 7 years, man.
Yeah, wow. Out of necessity, you kept doing that.
Yes,
you know, if you had the ability or the finances, you would have expanded.
But I'll tell you, seven years later, I moved into a 4,000 square foot shop, and you know, you said it best. If you build it, they will come. I think that's the biggest misconception that people get, or the biggest anxiety people get, is that, man, I got to fill up the shop to make money. Don't even worry about that. You have a shop, it will get filled regardless. Yeah.
Well, if you're running business the right way, and you have to be customer centric too, but also employee centric, you know, there's obviously multiple catalysts to making a good business run, but all of it will come if you do things the right way, you know, and you don't know how many times I've taken a kick to the shorts and lost thousands of dollars, but in the end, those clients aren't going. There's one or two things that'll happen. Either they're going to talk shit about you and you get a bad rap out there and reputation,
right?
Or they're going to love that you did the right thing and they'll bring you more business, or tell 10 people about you and you'll get more business from it too. So just doing the right thing, I think, has been something my father taught me. So my dad started it in 1974, and he was a pinstriper in town. So I used to grow up going to car dealerships with him, and you know, he'd pay me $0.25 a car to wipe down the side of it, right? You know,
come on,
so that he could lay his pinstripe, and that's what I did, man. And I mean, of course, I was 6, right? These guys would give me balloons, you know. But I just grew up going out working with my dad when I was with him, and when I was 18, he said, "All right." I was like, "Dad, I'm going to come work for you." He said, "Oh, fuck that, go get a real job." I was like, "What?" "Oh, what? Okay." So I went out, got another job, and worked that for some months. And then, you know, whatever happened, got out of that and got into something else. And I was like, "Dad, how about now?" He said, "Well, come on in." So I started working with him, and then he fired me like 6 months later, you know. So I think I was 19 at the time. And so after he fired me, I you know, went and looked for another job, and, you know, the job hunt wasn't great. I was also kind of a shithead back then too. So
we all are at that age. At that age, you don't know what you want to do. Right.
I thought I knew everything, you know? So, and, you know, I was just doing stupid things. And so then I said, "You know, Dad, I still love doing this. So I'm going to move up to my mom's house, which is about 2 hours out of here. And it's kind of rural area, you know." And I thought, well, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to try and run a business like this up there. So he gave me 5 rolls of pinstripe and said, "Go figure it out." So I made some business cards and started going to car dealerships and talking to the sales guys, the sales managers, and started making something happen. You know, I was making $400 to $600 a month, you know, living in my mom's house, you know, but it was part of the piece of my story, you know. And from there, I did that for about 6 months. And I was talking to my stepmom one day, and she said, "You know, you should ask your dad for a job back. He's got other things he's going to go do. He doesn't really want to run this business. So you should just ask him if you can come back." So I did. And he said, "Yeah, that's fine. Sounds good." And I said, "But I still got this other thing I'm doing. So I'm going to stay doing that part-time." So I worked up there running my own business for 2 days. And then I would come down and work for him for 3 days. And then just party on the weekends with my buddies, you know. And that worked out for a little bit. But in the end, you know, the real money's down in the cities, you know. So more opportunities. So that's what I did, and just came to work for him. And I had this pivotal moment where I remember hanging out with my buddies, and I'm like, you know, if I do this, I'm going to go at it hard. I'm going to make sure I do this and don't screw it up again, you know. And that's what I did. So went at it hard and said, I'm not going to stop. And the rest is history as far as that goes. And when I took it over, I was servicing, you know, maybe 20 car dealerships, and that was working out. I got into paint protection film because that was something. Oops, sorry about that. That was something my dad couldn't do was paint protection film. He hated that product. And I was like, you know what? I think that's the way of the future. Everybody needs this. So I'm going to learn to do it. So I think it was 97. I started laying PPF.
Wow.
And, so I just started doing that. And, of course, the other products, and went at PPF pretty hardcore. I'm the longest standing paint protection film company in the cities here. So, there's that.
So you basically started, more or less the wrap side of it with the PPF back in 97, more or less. Were you doing a lot of like small hand cut jobs, like around the fender? You weren't doing like full hoods like they are now and all that stuff, right?
No. Yeah. It was all, there were no templates, right? So it was all hand cut stuff. And trial by error. 3M didn't freaking give you any instruction on how to do it. They're like, here's a roll, here's a squeegee. I hope you don't scratch it up because you'll never get it off.
Right. Liquid lamb or whatever.
It was horrible. Super thick stuff. But I had a lot of car dealerships that I dealt with, and guys that I knew, because networking is something I love. I love to know people, and love when people know me. That's the guy that wants the fame and fortune, so, but just grew the business off of that. And then I started getting into wraps in 04. I'd done some bigger graphics. I used to do, with my pinstriping, I would do these little splash graphics from Universal Products, or, I forget some of the brands back in the day that used to make these little splash graphics or zigzags that go down the side of the car. And so I used to do a lot of that. I mean, I'd go sell those to car dealers all the time. And so I was really into the graphics end of things. That was my passion. And then the company, it was just me. I always had a sidekick, and, whoever it may be. And grew it from that into, I had an opportunity to wrap, in a body shop. Hey, we got this panel of this box truck that needs to be wrapped. Can you do it? So I'd go out and do that. And then my dad's best friend is the general manager at 7-Up Bottling Company in town here. So I thought, he calls me up one day and says, hey, we got 4 semis to wrap. You want to do them? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I went out there. I started hanging these panels, and I'm like, I don't know what the shit I'm doing. What the fuck am I doing? So I call a guy that I know. I said, hey, you want to come out and help me do these semis? And he's like, sure. So he came out, helped out. We did 2 of them, and then I did the other 2 by myself, and that was the start of it. And I was like, my God, that was good money. B, that was kind of fun. And C, look at how it looks when I'm all done. That looks awesome.
How long did it take you to wrap those semis?
Oh God, I don't know, probably 15 hours each one. It was a long time. I don't know if it's 15 hours. It was a long time, but
back in the day with what? No laminate.
They had. I think they had liquid laminate on it, and they were pre-masked, of course.
Pre-masked, yes.
Yeah.
Old famous pre-mask back in the day.
Good old famous.
Which they still do that. It drives me nuts. A lot of people still use the pre-mask on that.
Yeah. How much cheaper is it?
I know.
To really do liquid lam with pre-mask? Is it that much cheaper when you're mass producing stuff that it's like, that's what we'll do?
Unless you're buying a shit ton of pre-mask. I mean, I would assume the liquid lam with the cost of pre-mask is probably the same as laminate. We're like at what, $1 something?
Right.
$2 and something. I mean, come on.
But when you multiply that by millions, I suppose that changes the numbers a little bit. But
yeah, when we save 1 cent here, 2 cents here, it makes a difference in your bottom line. But who knows? I mean, that was the wave of the past, and I'm so glad we got out of that side. And here in 2000s, we don't have to deal with that,
Right. Yep. So I started researching, I started going to SEMA in 05, and I'd go every other year and watch it, the business kind of grow and change. And I was designing wraps, and, spot graphics really. I and mixing it with wraps. So I started a lot with partial wrap.
Right.
Before I got into full wraps back in 05, 06. And I had somebody else, designing for a bit, out of state. And then I had some, because we didn't have We Print wraps back then, so so I had somebody else designing it out of state, somebody I knew, and then they would print it for me and ship it to me, and then the color would be all off or just be, put together horse shit. And so I thought, you know what, I need to design it. So I started designing it and grew from there. And then thought, you know what, I can't control this print quality. So there's a company that was right next door to me in the space that I'm currently in, and they were doing wraps. They're called Head Cycling. They're kind of big in their industry, and they were doing little decals. And I was like, dude, you want to print a couple of wraps for me for Thermo King? They're like, sure, but you got to laminate them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to buy my own laminator. So I bought a laminator.
Wow. And
that period of time I did have, I was doing PPF. So I was doing templates when we had templates from 3M, I think it was back in the day. But yeah, started laminating on my own. And then just shortly thereafter, I'd kind of researched this stuff for a couple of years through trade magazines like Sign and Digital Graphics,
right,
through SEMA and
Signcraft.
Yeah. And there's so much info out there, but it was all magazine based really at the time. So, but I knew that's the direction I wanted to go. So I just kind of researched it, found the right stuff, and bought my first printer and just started going to town and hired a designer in-house. And at that point I had maybe 6 guys working for me, and worked out really well. We still did the paint protection film. We still did pinstriping.
Right.
Let's say 08 came along. We were kicking ass on multiple things. Still working with car dealers, which was like, let's say 75% of my business was car dealerships. So I was doing a lot of wholesale stuff for dealers. And 08 came and just, decimated the car industry. So I was like, I had like $10,000 left, and I'm like, I'm going to Vegas for SEMA. I'm going to figure something out there. And I met some guy in an elevator headed to a trade show, or one of those group get-together things, and they did some paint touch-up products. And I thought, that's interesting. I deal with car dealers; they want to make these cars look good and sell, so maybe I'll buy that and I'll get into that, because I couldn't even get a dealer to spend $20 on a pinstripe, so, and I couldn't build my company off of, one thing specifically. Like I'd love to say, hey, I've been doing wraps forever and that's all I do.
Right.
No, I mean, I'm an octopus, man. I got multiple things going on.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think you have to diversify.
100%. 100%.
So started doing this paint touch up. Before you know it, we're hitting some serious numbers with paint touch-ups. So that helped float me through the hard times of 2008, 2009, and came out on the other end smelling like a rose, and just built the company from there. So,
wow.
I got clients that we do wraps for Thermo King, and we do wraps for them. We've been doing it for 12 years, and they still are bringing stuff to me, and those guys that used to give me balloons when I was a kid, they're giving me vehicle wraps for their parts trucks, or they're asking me to do custom wraps for their clients. And now my business is maybe 2% is car dealership, is business to business or retail. And we got a ton of retail clients now, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. That's amazing, dude. Isn't it funny when you look back and you kind of look at you growing up with your dad around the dealerships, building your clientele, seeing what your dad did and how he made money, and, not putting all your eggs in one basket, so to say, with the dealerships, but that was the wave of the times back then. That's the only way you'd be able to get business. Back then, you'd have to pay a ton of money to be in the yellow book and promote, and you couldn't do that. It was legit handshake and word of mouth back then, and it was so much harder to create a brand because we didn't have social media and all that good stuff that we have now, and the internet. I mean, we had to resort to magazines, all of the 90s, because that's the only way we knew what was going on in the West Coast and what they were doing down south in Florida or Texas. It's
right.
And then we implement that in our areas, and then, you go on, and it's just amazing that like now seeing that transition from, 1970, what was it, 1974?
Yeah, 74.
Yeah, to now 2019, you kind of come full circle and still have, that 2% of dealerships, but those people have come with you for 30 odd years. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, that's got to be mind blowing.
Relationship building is the fun part,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of clients that, that are car dealers that I'll pick and choose the car dealerships I work with because I know those guys, or those guys knew my dad,
right.
And I know when they say, yeah, me and your dad used to go way back and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, I got to really take care of these guys because, it was my legacy there, and
right.
they're the people that helped my dad get through and helped buy me a Nintendo back in when I was 12. So, you know what I mean? So
is your dad still with us?
He is with us. Yeah. He retired about 4 years ago.
Wow.
And, he pretty much, he started another company, that became a national company, just kind of an offshoot in the car industry. And, he kind of blew up, sold his company, 2 of his companies. And now he just kicks it. We go play golf on Fridays and Sundays when I can get off work and just hang out. So
that's awesome. That's the way it should be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He must be super proud to, out of all the bullshit you probably put him through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Hiring
like
you.
The day I told him, no,
you.
I'm not going to mow the lawn.
You know what I mean? He's got to be super proud that you've built this kind of empire. And you're able to live your life.
I'm a little more humble than that. I don't know if it's an empire, but we're working towards that.
Oh man, it definitely looks like it, and you're on the right path, man. And I feel like, whenever, and it shows because you've proven it throughout the years, when you've come to hard times, you resorted to something else to get you through, but you always came back to the original plan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You figured out a small niche. Oh, touch up paint. Cool. We'll make a couple bucks on that. We'll float it until PPF comes back around, or the wrap thing starts kicking off, and we'll get right back into it. And all of a sudden, that will be the niche. You know what I mean?
And those things all are interconnected too. We have people that come in for PPF that have a couple of rock chips. We have people that come in for PPF that end up getting a full wrap and some PPF, or so all those pieces really still fit together really nicely. So some of the car dealerships that I do still work with, we've got a couple of different services, offshoots of what we normally do, that are small percentages of what we do, but it's still a product that I offer. And from that, there's peripheral sales you get off of that. Hey, let's wrap a couple of cars for the show floor, and a general manager of the dealership who's 65 says he wants to wrap a couple of cars on the show floor. You go, really? Okay, let's do this.
That's cool. But, do you still get to sling the brush once in a while?
Oh yeah. Yep. I get to do a little bit of everything. So I'm the only PPF installer in my shop at this time. I would love, so if anybody's listening, they want a job as a PPF installer, come on up,
So, we're hiring.
We're hiring. Yep.
That's amazing. So you're solely the PPF person. How many other people in your business have different avenues that they take care of?
Oh, we all wear a lot of different hats, but I do try and keep things relatively steady for the guys, and the ladies. What they do is what they do, but they, there's times I ask them to do something else, and a lot of them are willing to do something else too, just to kind of help get through different times, because like right now I don't have a lot of. It's just me for doing PPF, so they'll wash a car for me and pull it up so that I can put it on the lift and do the work, or they'll help cut the kit for me, or things like that, so that I can try and still manage the business, go sling some clear bra and, whatever it may be. If we got an installer that's out, I jump in and help do the installs, so I get to pick and choose some of the stuff that I do. But on the other hand, I got a solid crew that backs me up every step of the way. So I feel fucking blessed about that,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's got to be cool. Do you also do your own, I don't want to say like training, but do you train a lot of your employees as well when they come in, or do they come in with some sort of knowledge of, how things are done and how to lay down vinyl or whatnot?
God, I would say most everybody in this industry probably has to do their own set of training, because nobody knows how to do wraps or wraps at our level either, so right. I do train guys in, I do pull them under my wing when I can. The crew that I have right now, my guy Lee, he takes the lead in training my guys. Every Thursday morning we get on the Wrap Institute and do an hour of videos, and then they go and try and do something with that out in the shop. And a lot of times, what's great about the Wrap Institute is you can really pick a video that's suitable for the job that's ahead,
Right.
And I swear Lee's probably on that every single day watching new videos because he eats, breathes, sleeps this stuff too, So we do training on the weekly. I think it's important to do that.
Mm-hmm.
My guys, I think, would love to go out and get certified. But I don't see the benefit in it really. I mean, everything we're doing here, we're doing it and doing it well, and when it comes down to it, I don't want to sound too proud, but I don't think that we need to pay somebody else to tell us that we're doing it the right way. If our wraps come back and are failing, then we're doing something wrong. But we should, honestly, that the size our company is, we should be able to turn inward and say, all right, what's going on? What are we doing wrong? Let's talk about it. Let's fix that. And we have multiple measures of quality control that we put into what we do, from the print and to the guy that's doing the laminating and the finishing, and to the guy that's doing the install, and to the guy that's post heating or putting the lam tape on, that sort of thing. And then, me and the other sales guy, we're the ones that are going to deal with the upset clients if it's peeling. So
right.
It's up to him and I to go walk around this car, make sure it looks dialed in, and just double check. Did it get post heated? Right. You sure we shouldn't put some lamination tape here? Little things like that. And I know a lot of people in the industry probably do it a different way, but this is how I am. So this is how it is here. So.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does it a little differently. And, you coming back, coming from an old school way of, the industry, like real old school from the paint, you've seen every conception of this side of the industry, from, the painting side to the cutting era, just cutting prior, BC of printing. You know what I mean?
The BC. Yep.
So it's like, and then getting in full-fledged, full custom prints and designing. I mean, you've seen every aspect of this, and it's only going to get better and go beyond this as the years progress. But some people old school wise, and I'm one of them, back in the early 2000s, I always thought, why do I gotta get certified? I maybe have one problem every few months of like something coming back, but it's all about troubleshooting. Even the best of the best out there have issues. It happens. It's an oversight, or something didn't get post heated for some reason, and it comes back. It happens. It's just how you react and how you go ahead as far as your customer service. That in turn will help. Having set things in place for those types of situations where you can calm a client down for whatever reason. If it's a high-end car and they're like, what the fuck? Like, why is this peel? It's...
Even if it's a low-end car.
Yeah, or even, or if it's a commercial job, it's, something across the wheel wells coming out. Well, did you go through a freaking car wash, man? Like, come on, let's figure it out together. I'll make it right, but I feel like everybody goes through that, certified or not. It's just a part of, your customer service and how you react back. And, you've got to be good to the clients, because at the end of the day, even that little bit of a bad, not so much a rap, but a problem comes back and you fix it and you're like above and beyond. Oh my God. Like, they can say they got something bad, but when they came back, they had an absolute incredible experience of getting it repaired and no questions asked. Like, let's just fix it. Let's make this right.
Even as something as simple as giving a client a loaner vehicle and paying for a loaner vehicle for a couple of days.
Wow.
It might cost you $80 to do that, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not out of car.
Mm-hmm.
They can continue on with their life, and their car's just getting fixed up. So,
right? Yeah, I mean,
what it is.
Not a lot of us can do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
With the, some people, I actually heard some people have a loaner car, just a shop car that they just say, hey, take it. And that is huge, because you have it wrapped with your own business. You've got a client driving around in it, as long as they don't
looks pretty cool.
Looks pretty cool. As long as they don't run any red lights or get any tickets on it, you should be pretty safe, right?
Yep.
And it's a win-win. It's free advertising. And if they live an hour away, look how many heads are going to see that an hour away.
Yep.
Yeah, keep the car.
I don't want to lead you on. I don't want to lead you on. I just rent them through Enterprise. We've got 2 fleet cars in our little fleet, but I just rent a loaner car from Enterprise. So.
Nothing wrong with that either. I mean,
nope.
Telling the client, hey, we'll make it right. I'll cover the cost of a loaner. We'll get you rolling. The loaner will come here and pick you up here, and you'll be on your way. I don't think anybody. I think, like, as a potential client coming in, I wouldn't think that a smaller business or a business to your stature would be like, yeah, I'm going to make this right and I'm going to give you a loaner. I'm going to take the time and call my guy at Enterprise and set you up and make it right and whatnot. Someone looking outside the box wouldn't even expect that to happen.
Right.
And I think that's what propels different companies to like another level of customer service is so big in our industry, man.
VIP service, if you can give it, especially when you're trying to do luxury stuff, if you can give it. I remember I had a client that came in just out of the blue, him and his 2 buddies, his nickname's Thunder. And Thunder comes in with the S550, right? And he's like, I want to wrap this car. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, and we were talking about it, and it all went really well. And I was like, where are you from? He's like, Iowa. Why'd you come all the way up here? He's like, I think you're the only company I want to deal with. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He goes, I heard from a friend of mine that you fixed something for him, and he was happy about it. So, we lined it up to, I dropped him off in his car at the airport, and then I picked him up when it was all done from the airport, because he's going to Vegas to blow a bunch of money, and, but he thought that when he'd call me later, he's like, dude, I thought that was really cool. I felt like $1 million, felt like, VIP, and he thought that was cool. So any chance you get, is an opportunity, a building block, whether it's relationships with your friend and your significant other, or with your clients, good or bad, it's an opportunity to build something as opposed to just let stuff slide, so.
Right. 100% agree with you on that. That's cool. It's amazing, man. Not a lot of people, even think of that. They'll just be like, hey, bring it back in 2 days when we can fit you in. And, when you have something break, you always, for me at least, I can speak for myself. I want to get that shit fixed right away.
Right.
I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back in 2 days and deal with it again, or even, keep seeing it for the next 2 days. I just want it, can you just do it now, and it's, it's kind of, it puts a stigma on that client coming in, and they'll just think like, oh, maybe, I've had clients that are like, oh, maybe I'm too good to like, have this fixed right now. You don't see it as a high priority. And it's, man, whenever anything has to come back, it gets fixed like right then and there. Yeah. Everybody stop what you're doing. Let's figure this out and get it done. That's it.
Yep.
Oh, unreal. Have you ever had any difficult clients?
Oh God! Where do you want me to start, man?
I know. Our time is a little limited, so I don't want to waste it on some clients. But have you ever had one
you
that
want the
sticks
horror
out?
story? You want the worst horror story?
Yeah, man. I want to hear the worst one.
All right. So we had this guy's car. We were wrapping it. It was a little Lotus. We were wrapping. Yeah, it was a cool little car. This kid, he was 18. His dad was paying for it, obviously. But he was a boxer, a local boxer. And, they thought they were pretty special people, and I gave them VIP service. Well, I had a gal working at the front counter at the time, and I ended up playing golf that day, and the car was almost finished. We had a couple more panels to put on, but we were scheduled to be done the following week. Well, he wanted to come in and see it. That's all he wanted to do was come in and see it because he was excited about getting it back, And I think what happened, we had wrapped it once. Everything went great. He loved me. I think we did one other car, and then Clearbroad did PPF on his mom's car. And then he got in an accident with the car. So the car was back with me. So that's what it was. And it was there for 2 weeks because we were letting the paint cure for the first week because it had been painted just that previous week. Right. So, I went golfing with my dad that Friday, God forbid. Well, my front office girl, she was, she's kind of a bulldog at times. Well, these guys, I had given them the tour of the shop. They'd show up. I'd go walk them through the shop because I love to show people what we got in there because we usually got some cool stuff. And well, they walked in and they just walked right into the back shop. Well, this front girl, she wasn't up front when they came in, and she saw them in back and comes up and says, "Hey, you guys can't be back here. You need to get out of here." And they're like, "Excuse me?" Justin lets me back here all the time, and that just turned them right off. Whatever it was, whatever she said and how she said it, they're like, "Are you kidding me?" And they go, "You know what? We want our fucking car." And she's like, "Well, it's not done yet." I don't care. You don't talk to me like this.
Wow.
So she calls me and she's like, "Yeah, so they want to take their car." I'm like, "Really? Well, I'll have it done by Tuesday. So, what's the gig?" And well, they were trying to get into the back shop and I wouldn't let them. And they were real mad about that. I'm like, "Well, what did you say?
And how did you say it?
Why is this turning into something crazy? Well, these are great customers, And,
right.
Well, whatever she had said blew them up, and they said, "We want our fucking car now." And they were going to take it away, right? Well, Charlotte is, fighting with them at the front counter. And the next thing you know, they're yelling at each other, and I've got the video camera to watch it after the fact. And I'm like, okay, so where's that VIP service, Charlotte, first of all? So we made some grand mistakes in that. My people did, right? That person.
Yeah.
But this client was also being a bit porky. And in the end, I said, let them take their car. They'll bring it right back once they cool down. Once I talk to them, it'll be fine.
Right.
But that's kind of how it went. And they took their car and never came back. I did talk to him and he's like, "Dude, I'll never be back at your shop because of how your person talked to me." And he goes, "You are great. They are not." So we made a mistake. So there's my story. It's not really all about the client being an asshole. My people didn't not treat my customers the right way, and I wasn't there to manage it. So there you go.
But at the end of the day, you want to give the responsibility where it's due, and your employees are your employees. At the end of the day, they should know, customer service or questions first, and then figure it out after. You know what I mean? And it's just honest mistake. I mean, we still all do it. We might say the wrong thing that just gets a client, triggers something in the client's mind. They're like, "Whoo, don't want to go down this route. I'm out of here."
Yep. And I don't know what really was going on that day. I watched the videos and there was an altercation. I'm just like, "Are you kidding me? How did that happen?" It would have never happened like that if I were there. But
hey, it's a lesson.
Win some, lose some, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. I mean, we had something similar to that. I experienced something similar to that where I brought a new client in, and a good time client. I probably wrapped 3 of his cars, and he came into the shop, and showed him around and whatnot, and he has a lease. So he's like, man, I know you got to take the emblems off to wrap it. Can you just try to maybe just put them in an envelope or something and put them in my glove, because my last car, they charged me to put the emblems back on because I didn't have them. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, that's fine, no problem. So I wasn't there when he dropped off, and he wanted to just bring it up to our front desk person and say, hey, I reminded Jeff about the emblems. I just want to make sure whoever's going to be taking them off, that Jeff let them know not to, ruin them or get them lost. She goes, oh yeah, we just rip them off the car and break them. And dude, damage control for like an hour, damage control for me.
Yeah.
Woo. I was like,
fun.
I was like, whoa, and you know what? It's just the way you say it at the end of the day.
Yep.
It's not so much like when you say it, it's just the way you say it. And it's just like, whoa, poor choice of words. First thing, you don't break anything on any client's car.
Right.
That's a red flag. Like, this guy has like 100 miles on it. Brand new.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't breaking nothing, and
nothing. Those emblems break themselves when you take them off. Right? That's how you say it. They might break because you take them off.
Right.
Just find a different way to swing it.
Yeah. Like, work around it. Like, we might lose a letter, but we'll try our best. And I got a phone call no sooner than him getting in his wife's car outside the shop. Oh man, I just want to make sure you don't break my emblems. I'm like, who told you we were going to the front desk? I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
And it's just, it is what it is. And, it's an honest mistake. I mean, but at the same time, it just goes to, keeping your team on the same page. And I love, by the way, that you guys do like a day, an hour every week of training, because honestly, I don't think a lot of shop owners would consider doing that or do that often enough for your employees. I think that's a huge benefit for them.
Yeah. I think it is too. It sets us all on the same page. If we're all doing the same things the same way, it sets a standard for us.
100%.
So then we all know Justin's not doing it different than Lee is, and Kyle's not doing it different than Paul is. So that's how that goes, Mistakes happen, There, like I said in the beginning, how many times we've had, issues that happen, and people make mistakes. What I tell my guys is, let's just learn from them. Okay. So this happened. Let's talk about it. Let's learn from it. So that next time when it comes up, you don't even have to ask me. You already know that, hey, this happened. We got to address it right away and find the workaround to fix it, or trim the door the same way, whatever it may be. So,
but
standards.
Right. Right. 100%. In talking about standards, I've seen the implementation of, I can't even talk.
Implementation.
That's it. There we go. My dyslexia was kicking in here. The of using the lamb tape, to help with those edges that are tucked in behind, engine bays where there's heat involved and stuff like that. Have you been putting that into your kind of day in and day out of wraps?
Yeah, we do. I don't think it's a cheater way of doing anything either. You think about like door edges on a commercial wrap on that front door, where that technician that's going to get in that truck is going to open that door and grab it wherever he feels like it. He might be wearing big gloves that day because he's a mechanic or whatever it may be. And he's going to curl back that edge. You're not necessarily wrapping every edge like you are when you're doing a color change wrap. It may be trimmed, just a little bit in, but it's still, he's going to grab it. So, I'll implement door edge. I used to do a door edge guard from paint protection film, and that's great and all, but that costs a lot more than lamination tape. So that's a spot we like to use lam tape on. down low on the rocker panels of a E-Class van or something.
Right.
That's a good spot to put it too, because these guys aren't washing these cars, keeping them super clean. So they're getting beat up by the road and everything. So I think it's a smart move to put it in tactful places. Of course, we're not going to just run it,
everywhere,
in a spot where people are going to see. Right. I don't want to be on the rap police, and they're, but I don't want to show up there. If we show up there, I'm closing up shop.
Yeah.
So.
That Instagram is just, I remember seeing a post a few weeks back and them asking, do you think the rap police is a good thing or a bad thing? And, I honestly, it's a good and bad thing. I mean, nobody wants to get called out. Nobody wants to get shamed or put on the spot. But at the same time, it keeps you on your toes, because we all strive to not be on that Instagram page.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and
taking
if your
those
competition's on it, that's awesome, because then we all can laugh about it and go, got you guys.
Gotcha. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I see.
Yeah, utilizing lamb tape, I think, is smart in the right setting. So.
100%. Yeah. Honestly, I don't use it. I think it's maybe just like an afterthought for me. Like, once a car goes, I'm like, maybe I should have just maybe put it in like a couple spots just to ensure that something won't happen or something won't lift because of whatever. Like you said, they grabbing the corners of the doors instead of grabbing the door handle or something stupid like that. And I noticed on one of your tow truck jobs, which is amazing graphic, was that printed on just white film, and then you overlaid the chrome over it, or is it printed on chrome?
No, those hooked up towing. Yeah. There's another story. I'll tell you that one too. But dude comes in, and to answer your question, it was Avery 1105 with I think we used a gloss lamb on it because he likes paint, so made it look like paint. That design was pretty dynamite too.
Yes.
But so then we overlaid the chrome on top of it. Yep. So here's that story. I'm in Miami on vacation in January. I had a little work to do down there with the client, but I was really kind of on vacation, right? Mm-hmm. And I told this guy he was going on a cruise himself, and he's like, and I said, you know what? If there's any, let me back it up a sec. He comes in, dude's got tattoos everywhere, big burly dude. And his truck is in mint condition, right? This is $160,000 tow truck. This is his pride and joy, And he's like, I don't know what I want, but when I see it, I'll know. I'm like, okay, so what do you want on it? Well, flames and skulls. I'm like, okay, so, right? Of course you do, bud. Of course you do. So we go and we design. It went, usually we do like 3 designs, essentially. Like we'll do that first concept proof based upon our design consultation meeting.
Right.
And so we kind of have a target, and then we fine tune it. And his thing was more of a piece of art than anything. So, I would be like, zoom in on it so you can see. And it went from, I don't know, like, oh, you're really close to that's not even close. And now we're better. Oh, it's getting better. 12 proofs later, and so it was one of those just ones. I wanted to look like a hook grabbed it and is tearing the metal open so you can see the flames. All right, dude, I can get you. It's going to take us 50 hours to freaking design, but anyways, so we get through all that. Now he's going on vacation. He's going to drop the truck off. We got it for 5 days. And I'm going on vacation. So I'm like, well, I hope my guys can handle this. He drops the truck off and says, just make sure it's perfect. If it's not perfect, you're going to be redoing it.
Jesus. No pressure.
Hey,
no pressure.
No pressure. Well, in that whole lead up to him dropping it off the week or two before, we just got slammed with a bunch of other stuff. So we were just booked solid. And I'm headed out of town, hired a new sales guy. I said, all right, well, I'm going to be gone, but here's your first day. So
good luck.
Just answer the phones.
Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I'm trying and sound like you know what you're doing,
Please.
And so, right. And so dude drops off his truck, and that's that. And come Thursday, you know, he's supposed to pick it up because he's flying in, and the guys are just bum rushing to get this thing done because my designer had to finalize the design because it wasn't quite perfect. And she's really great because she wants her shit to be dialed in. She doesn't want an ounce of pixelization. She wants everything to land in the right place. So she takes extra measures to do that. Well, the dudes are just pounding on it, trying to get through it along with the other 30 trucks they're doing, right? And in the end, it turned out great, but it's about an inch crooked. The hooked up towing, the lettering is about an inch crooked. Well, my bright idea was to print on the chrome and laminate it, right? And we've done that process before, but lo and behold, I was out of Avery chrome. So we used some regular, we would call it RTA chrome, right? Ready to apply chrome.
Right.
You know, so then we printed on the laminate, and then laminated the laminate, put that on the chrome, and then put it through the cutter. Well, of course, with chrome, the reflections, it's kind of hard for the cutter to cut it sometimes. So that took extra time. And then the guys installed it because the dude's like on his way to pick it up, and it's an inch off on, you know, crooked. Ugh. You can't really tell. You really can't tell, but he can tell. And he was just throwing a shit fit about it. And he's texting me, and before I left, I said, hey, if there's anything wrong with it, just pick it up from my guys, be happy, and just text me once and say, hey, we need to talk about it if there is anything wrong. Right. And then when I get back, we'll deal with it. Just let me go on my vacation without hassle. Yeah. Nope. It was like, I don't know. He's writing me freaking tons of text messages, just pissed off and just mad. And it was like, dude, how does this happen? You know? And then so I got home. I said, hey, why don't you bring it by the shop when you get a chance, so then I can look at it. So he brought it by the shop, and, you know, because it's an inch off there, that threw this other thing off, which when you get down to it, it's not perfect. And he wanted perfect. So guess what we're going to do?
Rip it all off.
We're going to rip it all off, because if that side's wrong because of that, well, that means the other side's wrong a little bit.
Well,
so you're going to redo the whole job. It was a $4,000 job, you know?
And it's like a partial, dude. You know what I mean? It's where it's all ripped, it's all contour cut, and then it's the red of the truck, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. Yeah. We've all been there, man. We've all been there.
Yeah. Yep.
Lost our shirts on a couple jobs, and you know, that's just you know how
nature of the beast.
That's
and if you're rushing it, you know, there's stuff that can go on and happen. And there again, you know, just like my other story, if I were at the shop, I could have helped everybody, my crew, through it, you know, but instead Justin decided to go gallivant in Miami instead. Lo and behold.
I take it you don't go on many vacations now.
No, I will. I'm not going to let that stop me. No, I just got to know that shit's going to go down, you know. So
yeah, you just be prepared. You know what I mean?
That dude's got 8 other trucks he wants to do, and he was so mad. He's like, you're not going to get any of my other trucks, but you are going to fix this one. And I was like, when we finally met face to face, I was like, dude, we're going to have to redo the whole thing to make it perfect, and I'll make sure I'm here when that's happening, and you know, it'll turn out the way it's supposed to. And he said, you know what? I appreciate that. After we do mine, I'll make sure I get the rest of them done for you too. So hopefully in the end, we can make bank on the guy, and, you know, everybody's happy, you know.
Right.
And in the grand scheme of things, come on, dude, nobody's dying. It looks pretty great.
Oh,
it might be an inch off it's tilted a little. It looks fucking dynamite.
Dude, so, it's just one of those things. I've brought this up numerous times. It's like the client's dire needs calling you on a Friday night. It's like, come on, man. Can I just get through my Friday night without fucking an asshole calling me about something that they're going to drop off on Monday? Can it wait? You know, it's, Ooh, dude, there's nothing worse. I mean, the pit of my stomach when you think not that you think that you put something on correctly. Cause at the end of the day, it's like, okay, should we follow the body line or should we measure it?
That's a good point. Is it level with the earth or level with the car? Which one is it?
You know what fucks me all the time is those fucking Ford Transits, dude.
I was wondering if you're going to say Ford Transits.
Dude, Ford Sprinters are pretty straight, and they only have that. They only have that one like indent. But dude, the Transits, it's like the back is like open, and then it gets narrow towards the front with fucking like 10 different body lines going down the side. It's like, dude, come on. It's
the other one that's like that is the Dodge Grand Caravan. Like
yes.
I don't know, a couple of years old. Those are the same thing. They got that body line that makes you go, well, it's crooked. It's not.
Yeah. Which one do I follow? Which one am I using today?
Well, the designer designed it like this, so in theory, but that's really a 2D design. So,
dude, Dan Nava had a great post on the Rap Society on Facebook where he posted how the panels should be applied, that you kind of actually have to turn the second panel a little bit in order to make it look level. But you know what? Fuck it. I do it all the time, and I just put it straight. All my text in my copy or my biggest text or logo area is in that recessed panel. So I'm measuring off of that, and I'm wherever it lands, and that's just the way it's gonna fucking go. You know what I mean? I see people pulling out laser levels, which is great. I think that's great for unique applications.
Yeah.
I've never used one, but I've seen videos of people using it. I'm like, oh, that could probably save me a little bit of time and a little bit of figuring out. I see people measuring between the two wheels and finding the center of the wheels, and then having that be the straight line, and then just bringing everything up to where your copy is, and that as long as you follow that red line or that green line, you're golden.
So I got a question for you. What do you think the stupidest tool in our industry is? Because I've got one.
Stupidest tool in our industry?
Yep.
Ooh. That's a great question. And you got one?
I got one. Yeah.
What?
Like one tool that might be like, some people like it, some people don't. What's that one that curves around the edge of the door?
And it's like
the little mini squeegee.
The little hook one?
Yeah. I'm not saying that's the stupidest one, but I think that I actually use that one sometimes on certain cars. But
I could see that one being like a nonsense. It's like, dude, you can open the door and just run your finger across the back if you wanted to. If you can.
Some cars you can.
But then again, squeegee can't really get in that corner. It really depends on what type of fender you got. Or something like that. I could see a good application. I do have that one, and I do have the smaller flat one. It doesn't have that 90, just to tuck into like little crazy corners. But you know what? Those tuck tools have replaced that.
Yep.
The tuck tools are amazing, dude. Like, I use yellow tools.
Are they from Yellow Tools?
Yes. Yep. The ones with the magnets. You can't go wrong with the fucking magnets. How many times you drop a squeegee, you're like, fuck, I got to change the buffer. No.
Yup, right.
You know what I mean? There goes $2 of a buffer, What the hell?
Have you ever heard of the Raptor? It's a big contraption that holds out a 24-foot piece of film. And it's got a gimbal joint on the top. And
you know what? That goes back a long time. I think that's when people were trying to figure. Someone was trying to figure out what's an easier way for me to wrap this by myself. Yep. I do remember that.
So I spent the $7,000 on that tool.
Get the fuck out of here! Oh my god! They fucking.
I got the Raptor in the shop. Yeah.
They got you on a fucking sales pitch.
$7,000. And now guess what it does?
Fuck, it sits in the corner, collects dust.
Nope, I hooked up some lights to it.
That
was 2 weeks ago. Otherwise, it's been sitting in the corner collecting dust for 2 years. So,
what do you have? The IR heaters on it or anything like that?
No, I got some shop lights to hook up to it for my ceramic coater, because when you do ceramic coatings, you really need like extra light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hooked up a couple of lights to that. So now it's in use again, but my God, that tool that's why I brought up, what's the stupidest tool you got in your arsenal? Well, I got the Raptor. So.
Ooh, that's insane. That goes back old school, man. I totally forgot about that. Do they still sell it now?
I bet you they're out of business. They gotta be.
They gotta be. That thing, I mean, I remember seeing the little ads in the back of the, magazines and those things. Wrap by yourself. Look how easy it is. Oh, dude.
So let's turn off all the lights in the shop and get some laser beams up on it, laser levels. I mean, come on.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, I thought, pretty thoughtful.
Yeah, I thought too. Somebody made
at least $7,000 on that.
At least 7 G's. They at least made that,
shit. Right? Oh shit! If anything,
they seem like a couple of yokels too, who I ordered it from, and they're just, best tool in the industry. You'll love it. I think I paid $500 to have it shipped up here and everything in this huge crates, and I used it maybe a handful of times, and I'm like, what am I doing? There are times I have used it when I'm wrapping by myself for some weird job, some weird car or something, So there are times it's worked, but there's times it's just like, that's the stupidest invention I ever bought into.
If the thing could lay it for me, then now we're talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now we're talking, right?
Just like you hold one end, I hold the other end. You go around the back bumper, I go around the front bumper, and it just sucks right into the car. Yep. Boom, done.
Yep.
Trim it out, good to go.
It's funny. So many clients are like, do you just heat it up and it shrink wraps to the car? Oh yeah, dude. That's why it takes me 2 days to wrap your car, because I just heat it up. Done deal.
That's it.
God,
I use a lot of heat gun and a lot of propane.
Yep. I just sit back and smoke cigarettes and just put a heat gun on it. We're good to go.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people sitting on buckets with heat guns.
Yep.
Oh my God. Do you have a YouTube page, right?
We do, yeah. I'm not as active on it as I should be, but we have got a bunch of videos on there.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best way to explain somebody like the process. Like, hey, listen, if you think we're too expensive, just check out some videos, look at the process, look at the amount of detail we go into wrapping these things. And I think people get more appreciative of the craft and how it's done and how it's applied when they actually see the process, man. Because I feel like, the education part of it, it's like, okay, we put a sticker on, but it's not just like peel and stick type of thing. It's on a bumper sticker. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's a big panel. It's got to get leveled. It's got to be applied right. It's got to, we've got to post heat and preheat and all that shit. It's a lot of moving gears prior to giving you the goddamn car done. It's. Yep. I think people become more appreciative of the craft and watching videos, and I don't, going back to like the DIY people out of the garages, they're trying to figure it out and they're going to make mistakes or whatnot, but like, it's not fucking easy. It's not. It's not
easy if you want a quality product that's going to last, and durability. Something I appreciate about what Pate always talks about is long-term durability. So me and the crew, when we're talking about a scenario that's coming up on whatever car it may be or part it may be, what's our long-term durability going to be, and how do we minimize issues, and then educating the client on, hey, we can do this mirror in one piece, or we can put this seam on the inside of the mirror, and go to town on it, and nobody will know the difference, and it looks great, and it's going to hold up for the long term. So, those are smart moves.
Yeah, come back in 6 months, or don't come back at all. Which one do you like?
Come back with your next car.
Right, exactly.
I had a Lamborghini client last summer, wanted to do a Tiffany blue wrap on his Lamborghini. Ooh. He didn't want to go back to the shop that he was originally at and had another car done there. And so I order the film. We bring the car in, and then he starts changing what he wants to do after the fact via text.
Jesus.
And I said, well, if you want to wrap under the hood and the door jams, it's going to cost you this. And it's going to cost you that. It's going to cost you. No, it's going to all be the same price. Well, you don't dictate my prices, bro. This is what it's going to be. So what do you think? And then, well, I want it all wrapped. And I said, well, here's the price. I'll do it, but here's the price. We're going to do a shit ton of embossing and stuff on it too. It was going to be dynamite, you know? And after 2 more conversations with them, I said, you know what? Come get your fucking Lambo and get it out of my shop, because I'm not going to deal with this type of stuff. This is the price. It takes a long time to do this. And to take off your mirrors on your Lamborghini, unfortunately, I've never been able to do that. I can't even hire that to be done for a price that's worth it. You know?
Right,
so
right.
We have to work around it. Well, I don't want that seam there. Well, I get that. I don't want that seam there either. The price to get those mirrors off was, I think it was $1,400 through a shop that would do it in town.
$1,400 to take the mirrors off and put them back on.
And put them back on. Yep.
Oh my God. That's $1,400. What?
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for, you know, but on the other hand, I would have loved to have those mirrors off.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. And get rid of that
if
seam.
He was willing, yeah, if he was willing to pay for it, then great.
It's like, dude, come on. You drive a Lamborghini. Stop. Like,
right. Stop right there.
Right.
Yep. Stop right there.
What's your fucking oil change bill look like? Like, give me a break, dude.
Right.
Your oil change is probably $1,400. Stop.
He pulled up in a brand new 720 McLaren to drop off the Lambo. So it's $1,400 if you want it that way. That's the way it's good, you know.
Man, I can never justify things to that nature. Where, or maybe I should, go back on. Do you think a lot of the clients with these high-end cars are the most hardest to deal with, or some to deal with than others, that really don't come from nothing and just appreciative to have something done to their car?
That's a loaded question. So there are those clients that, they have had everything their whole life, and, sometimes they exhibit that asshole syndrome, right? Then there's the clients that started from nothing, right?
Yeah.
Then they started from nothing and they have money, so they appreciate it. But then again, there's those clients that now have money that didn't have money that are assholes too, So
right.
I really think it's more about the person, and it's about my job and setting their expectations. I could have kowtowed to this guy and said, all right, I'll wrap your jams and under your hood and not charge you anything more. Then I got to do a Tiffany blue Lambo. That's not me. I'd rather push you down the road, and that was the first Lamborghini I ever turned down. So,
wow.
I got that going for me in a way, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to set that expectation, and I have to make a living.
Yes.
And
100%.
when they come down to, if they think that their shit don't stink, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to let them think that too. So
yeah, you got to play the game a little bit. And at the end of the day, it's not just your mouth that you're feeding. It's your team's mouth. There's multiple lives in your shop that you are responsible for, and you can't go out and make bad deals and, come to a realization like, shit, I got to let so-and-so go because I fucked up. Like it.
Yep.
Being a business owner, you're the last one to get paid at the end of that day.
Yep.
There's
times I don't take a paycheck if I have to, I'm not going to lie. It's sometimes you're cutting it close on payroll. So it is what it is. So,
Yep. And
I have got 401k, life insurance, full health care, PTO. I've got a lot of great benefits package, and it should cost so much money to maintain. But
it does.
God, I feel like I want that stuff,
right?
So I want to give that to my people too.
That's amazing, dude. That's
I
amazing.
worked for my dad for 7 years. He didn't offer me health insurance, because he couldn't afford it, So made sure I didn't break my leg snowboarding.
Yeah. Don't cut your finger too bad where you need to go to get stitches, or we're gonna glue that bitch together, and that's it.
We'll put some lamination tape on it. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine,
dude.
Justin.
Just the other day, I put masking tape around my finger because I didn't want to get up to go get a Band-Aid. Boom. I had that thing all the way home until I took a shower that night. I took it off. I had it right in the morning.
Giving blood.
That's it.
Giving blood to your job, right?
That's it. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's amazing because
paying the dues.
Yeah, you have to. And you're continuously paying dues. It's not like okay, you paid dues 1974 until 2000. Like, you're still paying dues now, man. You're still learning. Every day is an experience, and it's something that is continuous. When Justin Pate says never stop learning, it's not that you're not going to learn. It's just you're learning every day something. Something's coming up, a new fire you have to put out, something that you least expected, and you have to learn how to deal with those things at the moment it happens. And some people break and close down shop or don't know how to handle certain things. And props to you too, because not a lot of people, in the industry, offer that type of benefits. You know what I mean? A lot of these shops, like at least in the Massachusetts area that I used to freelance for, it's like, dude, you come in, you make your paycheck, you go home. Like, there's no paid time off. There's no sick days. There's no 401k. That's fucking a blimp in the radar for anybody, man. Like, I want to say you kind of made it. You've made it a legitimized business where someone can come in and not have to worry about, their family suffering because they can't benefit from a health insurance package. I mean, yeah, you probably pay a lot more, but just having that offering to your team, man, that's just amazing.
It's giving it back too. These guys work really hard.
Yeah.
They work really hard to do stuff. They really try and make it happen on the daily.
Yeah. Even
when there's a grueling pace, and they're never just standing around. They're working hard. If somebody's just standing around, cat clean the floors, and when it comes down to it, they're going to put out that 110% effort towards me and this company. And I got to give them back what I can. And if I can do all those things, I'm going to. And it does legitimize this business in a lot of ways, I think that's important in this business because this is a really still kind of a cowboy industry. I think it's getting better, but it definitely still is, shops with one or two people, and, they're working hard to make it happen. And like you said earlier, back in the day, to have a website was a big deal, and now everybody can have a website, and that grows what we got. But if you're making money hand over fist and you're not investing back in the company and into your people, you're not going to be around for the long haul. If you are, it's going to be you and whoever you pay the best in your shop. And I don't think that's fair either. So,
agreed.
One thing that I'm struggling with in the business is how to pay my people at the high level that they produce, and we've talked about it for 10 Ways to Sunday. I'd say 2 years, I've been trying to develop a concept, and I just came down to, the easiest way is to I call it a bounty. Put a bounty on each job. We've got a deadline. We've got quality that we're looking to hit. And if you guys can make that, then boom, that bounty is there, So we just implemented that because I want to get my guys to the next level. I want them to be able to afford the nice things in life. And I want to know that when I do go on vacation, that my shit's getting taken care of. That everything's getting done right. So I think that's important. And, I want my guys to be paid at the high level that they deserve and that they, So
I was going to say, when you say bounty on the vehicle, is it an extra benefit if they get it done earlier or on time, or everything, all the ducks are lined perfectly, like the print, the install? Do they get a little extra out of that, or are you just giving them like I don't know, per car basis?
Yeah, so a lot of guys will, they'll work on the same car at certain times. Sometimes they're obviously working on different cars. I've got 6 installers. So they're, sometimes working on the same one, sometimes not. And I put it as just one price bounty. And, this car might be more and this car might be less.
Mm-hmm.
That box truck might be less than the Lamborghini for obvious reasons.
Right.
And then partly it's due to what I charge for the car too. If I can make more money on the car, this is an opportunity for me to give that money back to the guys too.
Right.
And I don't, on the flip end of it, to pay them more if they get it done sooner. If I set that deadline, that's the expectation the client has. So that's our deadline. If you get it done sooner, more power to you. But what happens if you screw up a panel and now we're not going to get it done until the following day? I'm not going to make it a cliffhanger scenario where it's, get it done by this day or your SOL.
Right.
Because what if the printer fucks up and, something happens because I have 2 prints going on overnight tonight, and if we come in the morning and for some reason it's spit ink all over the place, that's not their fault.
Right.
So if I'm going to give them more to get it done sooner, well, what happens when the other end of it is, they can't do the job and get it done on time? I got to cut them some slack. Or what if we get 2 feet of snow again, and the guys can't make it in until 11 a.m. because of traffic and snow? Well, that is what it is. Or
a lot of different
so
factors.
Many times. There's so many factors. I mean, clients will call in and say, hey, I need to pick up the car sooner. Can you get it done? Well, I can try, but our deadline is Wednesday at 3 p.m. So, that's that. Or now it's me calling and saying, hey, I need it till Thursday at 3. So there's just a lot of factors. So I felt like putting a one price bounty on each job for what that job is worth that I can give away out of the job was a more effective way to do it, as opposed to trying to do square footage or, Kyle put on 3 panels of that car and, Lee put on 2 panels. So we pay Kyle more on that. Just put it at one price and then it all goes to the kitty. And at the end of the month, they all get paid off of that kitty. And I asked my guys too, how do they want to do it? Do they want to split it up due to, how long a guy's been with us, or if he worked on it more than the other guy. And I got a really solid crew. They're like, you know what? This is a team effort. We've been preaching this for 2 years now. So let's just give it all evenly across the board, from the designer to the guy doing the post heating, or the guy washing the car. Let's give it all the same to everybody. And I really like that. I thought that was cool that they all made that decision, and I let them be the ones to make that decision too. So
that's cool, because being a business owner, you're not always asking the questions to your employees on, what their thoughts are on an equal playing ground or pay or decision making. And I think that shows your character on, how much they play a big importance of, on the business. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us probably wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for our employees to vouch and stay late and come in early. Yeah. And, as you know, we can only get so much done in a day. And being a business owner, you don't get to sit behind the squeegee all day and enjoy that aspect of the business. You're behind the scenes and making phone calls, making those decisions, making those, new business inquiries come in, because without that, they're all sitting around with their hands in their laps and there's no work,
Yep.
It's just kind of one of those things. What do you miss the most as far as, the business side of things, now that you have all the help that you need and a great crew? What do you miss the most about the business?
What do I miss most?
Yeah. When
I used to go out and pinstripe and it was 70 degrees out, and me and my wife at the time, we would go out and pinstripe at, one car dealership, and we'd be there all day long and pinstripe, 80 cars in a day. Wow. And it was just kind of a fun lifestyle in a way, I didn't necessarily have client appointments. I didn't have to worry about overhead, because I was a guy in a van, and I miss a little bit of that sometimes. But when I really get down to it, dead of January, that was not a fun job. So, the weather will turn, and next thing you know, you got 5 days of bitter cold that it's super hard to work, and you got to make money. So you got to go out and do it. And I love talking to people. So I still get to do that every day. And the networking that I would do at car dealerships was a lot of fun. I like the burn of, some I like is the burn of having to still work hard to make it happen, you know? So, you know, sometimes when I was talking about, you know, you got payroll coming up and, you know, it's going to cut it close. Well, there's something about that kind of drives me to go, all right, work harder and do it better next time. Make sure you make money on this next job. Or, so when you get financially stable, then it goes, well, it's much easier. Yes.
Right.
But there's something about the burn that I've always liked. So not that I'm financially stable. Don't get me wrong, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we put stickers on cars, man. We're not millionaires here, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's what it is. I tell clients all the time. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, this is so cool, and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I just sit back and go, fuck, I get paid to do this.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
So
I like that. I like the urgency of, you know, having to make something happen. You know, and when those kind of stars align and everything goes according to plan, which it rarely does ever.
Rarely.
Yeah. Right. So, you know, when it does, it's just like, ooh, okay, this month's going to be a great month, or this week we're going to fucking kill it. And it's a good feeling to have when you got something like that, you know?
Yep.
Oh man.
You know, things I miss is, I don't know. I mean, I like where we're at, and I know that we're going to only get better. One thing that I wish could be a constant in this business is keeping the good crew that I have. I've had a lot of great people through the years, but being this is such a cowboy business, like window tint, really, you know, you can go get window tint done for $60 somewhere, you know. Yep. Well, I'm going to charge you $120 for that, for the two front windows, you know, and
right.
It is what it is. I wish some of the people had stayed with me that had left, but they left for a good reason, I guess, in the end, you know. So,
right.
I kept all those great people through the years. God, who knows what we'd be up to, you know, but it's a constant struggle so I miss being me and a sidekick. I miss that sometimes.
The simplicity of it.
The simplicity of that. Yeah. Yeah. Now this crew that I got right now, super tight. They all gel really well together. And this, I hope, just stays like it is. And we just add a couple more people here and there to it and just build upon what we got. I think we're almost to another level,
which is good. I mean, more than not, you would want to have your crew there and have them for multiple years. That's like the end goal, to have people in there for 10, 15 years. And, you know, eventually, hopefully, maybe they can take over or buy you out, and you could be you can turn the knob and be like, okay, I'm the employee now, you know?
Yep.
Which would be nice.
You know, I thought about, there's that company Rap Style that's out there, right? Mm-hmm. And I looked at them, and I kind of like some of the stuff they're doing, and I thought, God, wouldn't it be kind of cool if they bought me out and I just helped them set up rap shops throughout the country? That'd be awesome. You know, just different ideas to be able to go out and travel and network and stay in my industry in a good way. But this is my baby here too. So, you know.
Right. You got to keep that one fed, and, you know, you got to wipe the ass once in a while.
Right. Yep. Got to clean the dinner plate off once in a while.
Yep. And that's it. I really wanted to ask you about the Avery rap like a king for your 2018, man. It was a Boba Fett concept design on a fucking vintage car. I love the old Datsun, like the pickup truck. It's just amazing, man. Can you talk a little bit about the process and how you came across like the design to fit this particular car and why you chose this car as your Rap Like a King entry?
Submission, yeah. So really it was about the client. And, we were having dinner and he goes, and this is the client that we've done the Darth Vader Lamborghini for too. So he's a big Star Wars fan and he's got this full outfit that's Boba Fett's outfit. It was made by some guy, a super expensive thing. And our client's super eclectic, and he's like, we should do it something cool like Boba Fett, like Boba Fett's Land Cruiser or something. And so I just basically looked up the artwork, the concept artwork, and I said, well, what car are we going to do it on? Is this, a GTR or a Lamborghini or what? He goes, I got this one that's just coming over from Japan. I'm like, well, what is that? So it's really weird, old rotary engine. And I don't know anything about engines really, that's not my jam. It's about how the cars look,
Right.
So it just kind of came together. We started designing. My designer Tara really kicked her down in overdrive, and she spent a ton of hours, designing it. We had done one rust wrap previously that year, so I was kind of interested in seeing if we could do a rust wrap. So we did a rust wrap, and so then we decided to go this Boba Fett route and design it like the ship in a unique way and add some character to it with some body damage and things like that.
Right.
One thing we did to it that you really can't tell is embossing. We took sandblasting foam, and on that lower half of the truck where all those panels are, all that is embossed. So it's all raised, like it's bolt-on pieces, like I'd assume they would have made that spaceship, like, they're bolted on panels.
Yeah.
So all that kind of came together that way. The guy was throwing tons of money at it. Coy was throwing tons of money at it to do the engine work. And, I told him about Rap Like a King, and he goes, dude, let's fucking kill that. Let's do it. Let's do it. So he was game for anything we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. Having the Mandalorian logo on the hood was huge for him, and all that's embossed. And that sandblast foam was just kind of unique. I kind of ran across it through another job, and I'm like, wait a second, we could use this for that. And that's what we did. And we ended up wrapping inside the engine. And I don't know if you saw the picture, but Princess Leia is under the hood, right?
It is. It's like the old vintage photo of her, right?
Yeah, So we made a Polaroid on top of it to put on the dash like Leia. So in the old canons for Star Wars, Princess Leia and Boba Fett had a little kind of thing going on when she was trapped by Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
So we thought, how can we bring that in? So we did the Polaroid to be there, and with a little heart says Leia on it. So it's just kind of cool to do that sort of thing. And I thought, with Rap Like a King, how many times do you see Lamborghinis in that? How many times do you see supercars in that?
Right. 100%.
So the opportunity to do this old classic car God, how many guys do you know have a Datsun Sunny?
I got a friend of mine that's not even 30, and he's had probably his for like 3 years, and he lives down in Florida. Loves it. That's why I knew exactly when I saw it. He's got the American version, so it's not a right-hand drive. It's a regular left-hand drive. But it's not modded like this. He's got the rotary engine in it. It's got the wide tires in the back, but it's not to this extent. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God. And they're so rare that you don't really see those pickup trucks, and they're worth like stupid money.
Stupid money.
Yeah.
Yep. So we had it bagged. So the thing is bagged, which is awesome. Oh. And then we put this lighting kit all over in it too. So it lights up. It's got everything. We even did a digital dash on it. I don't know if you watched the video, but on the digital dash, it pops up Rap Like a King, Auto Trimmers Rap Like a King. And then in that digital dash, we put, oh God, what was it? For the fuel gauge, what was it? There was, I forget what they used for fuel right at the top of my head, but though it's all replica Star Wars stuff,
Right. Detailed.
And then he brings it back. Yeah, details, right? So then dude brings it back and says, let's wrap under the truck. I'm like, what? Let's wrap under the truck because he's going to have it on, tilting on the bags. We're going to put mirrors under it. And so we did all that in reflective, and was really cool. That everything was wrapped, that we could wrap. We wrapped it. So, and what else did he do? Put a big old stereo system in it. The best part is I call Florida to find that rope that's in the back, that netting.
Yeah.
I thought, let's put Han Solo in carbonite in the back because, Boba Fett captured Han Solo, so he's transporting them in carbonite. So at this show for Hot Import Nights, we put in a smoke machine at the bottom of it. So the car's all lit up, it's jacked up and looking like it does. And then we got the smoke coming out like it's carbonite, defrosting. So we kind of went to town on that and made something special, and thought we'd capture it in video, and we did a little Star Wars video about it, and that's on the YouTube page. And I don't know, it turned out really well.
It is just amazing. Like all the little intricate details, even inside the door where you did your own like riveted panel with the auto trimmers in it and the date. Yeah. Man, it's just those little tiny things where you catch snippets. If you see one thing, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you open the door and you're like, damn, what, like inside the door jamb with like a little panel, like it looks sick.
That honestly, I saw that from somebody else. Somebody else had done it. It might have been Metro Wraps or somebody, but I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, we got to fucking start doing that on all these special ones. Let's do something cool because it's giving back to the client too. Something super personalized for them besides just a car wrap. So it's all about taking it to that next level. And I don't know, just keep on going. We were just down in North Carolina for Texas 2K. And our Skittles 2.0 wrap, he won in his division.
Wow.
So that was awesome. And he's starting up this new venture. So it was really important for him to A, win that fucking race, but B, to have his stuff all over it and make it look like it did. And we used holographic chrome from Vivid on it. So we printed on that chrome on top of it. So
come on.
So we put 6 layers of vinyl on that car. So the embossing, and when you see the video is going to be released in the next week or two. You'll have to watch that, but then the pictures will come up, Jeff, and that little magic trick you'll see on the back rear quarter and the front fender.
Yeah.
So look for that because that'll be out there and you can check it out. It's something that I don't think has been done in our industry. So, and if it has, I want you to call me out on it and say, nope, Steve over here did that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that's perfect timing if it's going to get released next week because we're going to have, you be our 85th episode next week on Monday for this release. So cool. It will be good. So it will be perfect timing to coordinate the podcast episode release with the video, and I'll make sure to repost that as well to have everyone check it out and put a link to it. Yeah, that it's all about innovation and how we can take what we have and do something that no one's done yet, looking outside the box. And I can't wait to see the video now. Now you got me all jived up here.
Well, I hired a videographer. The guy that I use in town here is Josh from Dynamic Photoworks. That dude is awesome at what he does. So we brought him to North Carolina to do a video about the install and everything. So, so we're going to release all this stuff, and hopefully it'll be great. Between all the couple of things we got cooking, we're just trying to string a couple of awesome things together and see what we got. And I've got a surprise for Rap Like a King 2019.
You're gonna run this year again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got to run till we win it.
There you go. There you go.
So, another amazing old school ride. So.
Oh man, when is that coming out? Have they released a date yet for that?
No. I think it's probably going to be again in September when you got to have it done by. So.
Yep. I can't wait. I love watching. Again, everybody take the capabilities of the vinyl and mix matching and coming up with these different designs and different concepts and just outdoing last year's or outdoing themselves every year and finding new ways how to use this, because I feel like that's what's going to catapult the industry. That's what's going to separate us.
Yep.
You know?
one thing that I think is great about what we're doing is the digitally printed custom wraps. You know, that is something that you can't get anywhere else because it came out of, you know, my head, my designer's head, you know, and we implemented it, you know, so that's the thing that I think this industry is headed towards. You know, we're already doing it with business stuff, but let's take it to the next level. So.
Right. One thing I didn't ask you was how much of your percentage of business where you're doing these customized digital wraps, I don't want to say color changes because you're doing something completely different, but like these customized digital wraps to your commercial side of the business.
So commercial wraps are, you know, bread and butter, right? You need those to keep the lights on and pay for the soft costs, you know?
Right.
But the custom wraps, we get quite a few of them. As you see on the Instagram page, there's a lot of them. It's still pretty small though, in the grand scheme of things. In this, you know, right now we just had our Minneapolis Auto Show. So, pretty much it's going to kick off starting, you know, as soon as the snow is gone, all the cars start to come out. People are ready to play. So I think that the implementation of digitally printed stuff is only getting better, but we went through a month last summer where we had nothing but custom wraps in the shop.
Wow.
You know, we do a lot of wraps, you know, we're a high production shop too. So, I mean, when that's all you're doing is custom stuff, it's kind of cool, but then I want some box trucks after that, you know, just
break it up,
things out. Yeah.
the monotony of just doing custom wraps, like, oh, just give me a flat panel, please.
Yeah. Just give me something easy. I want something easy for a minute. Come on.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I can't give you really a percentage because I don't really focus on that. I just focus on what's coming through in the bottom line at the end, you know?
Yeah. So numbers. That's
sometimes
that's the business side of you.
Yeah, right. Sometimes I don't pay attention to how much I'm spending. I pay attention to what I'm making.
Yeah.
That may not be a great thing all the time, but that's how I look at it.
Hey, you gotta roll with it a little bit. You know, you gotta have a little bit of fun in between.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. I know we're getting to the end here. We gotta wrap it up. Let me ask you, was there anything else that you want to bring up that we didn't talk about that you might want to bring up on the show?
No, I think we covered everything that needs to be said in the grand scheme of things. Appreciate that you reached out to me and you wanted to do this. So thank you.
No, thank you, man. It's all about the guests at the end of the day and sharing their stories and their journey and some knowledge on, you know, how they got into the industry. And it's all about helping the next generation of rappers or business owners coming in and giving them a little bit more of a stepping stone so they don't have to go through so many more wrongs that we went through to get them there a little bit quicker, you know?
Yep. Right.
All right, cool. So let everybody know where they can find you on social media and if they got any questions to reach out.
Yeah, it's, Instagram is where we post most of our stuff, Instagram and Facebook. It's Auto Trimmers. Website is autotrimmers.net. And we're just out there. So it'd be great for people to reach out and say, hey, I saw listen to your podcast and they appreciate what we do. So
Definitely. Awesome. Justin, thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit and chat and talk about your experience and how you got into the industry and everything with us.
Thanks, Jeff.
What's up, folks? Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thank you to everyone that tuned in, and thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to IBOW Training, offering a variety of training options such as training at your shop, group training classes nationwide, and even private design print profile training through remote login. Learn more about IBOW at ibowtraining.com. Thank you also to We Print Wraps, the industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps, offering free nationwide shipping across the U.S. and Canada on all orders over $500. And don't forget, exclusive listeners of this podcast save 5% on your next order when you use promo code ALLWRAPPEDUP at checkout. See why industry pros love them and visit WePrintWraps.com. Till next time, folks, that's a wrap.